Hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome to training, service accommodation, and it's all about how to contact those very important people within the organizations that we're going to target. So we might get a little bit technical, but we're not really. We're going to talk about really how you can get into big companies. And within these big companies, there are big decision makers, and big decision makers spend lots of money. So that's what we're looking for. Okay. Please let me know that you can see me and hear me. Morning, Tim. You can see and hear me. A little sip of tea. My floral cup. Thank you, Mrs. B. Tim, mate, not long. Dun, 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 dun. Morning, Danny. Can you guys hear me? Can you see me? Just let me know that, please, before I go on. Morning, Jeff. Morning, Trish. Morning, Christine. Yes, can hear you. Yes, good. Fantastic. If one can see and hear me, then we all can. Morning, legends. Morning, morning, morning. Okay, so when we first start out in service accommodation, now I accept that some of this is a bit more advanced for those people who have just started. However, the video will be there for a long, long time for you to come back to once you get to the stage of calling on large organizations for those large, long stay bookings. So here we go. Introduction time. You all know me because I mentor you. Some of us, you know more than you should, but hey, that's the way it goes, and it's great. For me, before I decided to stop working in the big bad world of JOB, I was a sales guy. I was an account manager. I did more sales than just account management. In people's faces, selling stuff, benefits of products and that type of stuff. And I would never sell anything that I didn't believe in and that I didn't really truly know that could benefit the customer. So this is why I love property, because I know it benefits everyone. As long as you understand that, you're going to make a lot of money. So I then went to sales director. I was in a job when I first came to London. I was in a job and I was in it for 9 months, brand new to the UK, brand new to the industry, brand new to the product, didn't know anything about it. And within 9 months, I was made the national sales director. And numbers went through the roof. And it was all about building relationships and selling the benefits, if you like, of the product, and selling your company and your service over and above everyone else. Now, this is all about selling. That's what this webinar is all about. Now, if you believe in your product, it's not really selling. It's just an elevation and a display of your passion. And you're just talking about what you love. So you're all here because you love property. You're all here because you love service accommodation. You're making the money. Now we want to make more, and we want to make it. It's going to be harder at first with what you're going to have to do here, because some of you are going to have to come out of your comfort zone. However, it's then going to be much easier because you're just going to have these full-on bookings coming in. Now, it may happen overnight. It may not. It depends on you as a person and how you will go out and take action, i.e. get off your ass. So I can teach you everything in the world, but unless you go out and get off your backside, nothing's going to happen. I can tell you that my daughter goes to dance at Shrek, and I'll tell her how to dance, but unless she gets on that stage and participates, she's never going to dance, right? I'm not saying you suck eggs, but I'm just setting it up. You are going to need to do some groundwork here. Get stuck in. Somebody just said, I'm not a salesperson, I don't sell. Bullshit. Everybody sells on a daily basis. You go and get your coffee in the morning. Oh, hi, I suppose maybe a cup of tea with you. That's selling. Whether you like it or not, you're selling. It's an emotional sell, puppy dog clothes, whatever you want to call it. You know, the Ben Franklin clothes, there's all these sort of things. I can talk to you about sales until it comes out of my ears. However, I can tell you now that sales is all about relationships and being able to convey the benefits of what it is that you're selling, the product that you've set up. If you've got the right product, you've set it up in line with the core system, i.e. central operations, realty, and the experience of the guest, this is going to be piece of cake. Piece of cake, right? So let's get cracking. Pardon me. I'll actually write a live letter for you today, and I'll do it on my screen. And what I'll do for those that I mentor, I will then put some example up on the Dropbox for you. Good. So, veto. So you would have seen all these people out there, right? And it makes me bloody sick because we get the letters to landlords, and you see them on Facebook. They have all these bloody, you know, their labels. Oh, look, I've got 1,000 labels that I've got to handle. I'm putting them on letters and I'm sending them out to landlords. And the landlord's reading out, oh, great, more firewood. Yes, something to start the firewood. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, 1 in 1,000 of those might work, but that's the way it goes. There are better ways to contact landlords direct without having to send out all these letters. Now, we are doing this differently because we are not sending letters to landlords. We are sending letters to what we call C-level. And this is a decision maker within a company. C-level meaning chief of operations, chief of executive officer, chief of finance, chief financial operator, officer, whatever it might be. There's either chief or there's officer, something in their name, but it's normally a C-level, CEO, CFO, CIO, COO, you know, all the bloody titles in the world. Now, if you get on the old phone, dog and bone, whatever you want to call it, and I phone up and I say, oh, hello, can I speak to Richard Branson, please? Sure. Who's calling? Ashley Banfield. I'll just put you through. Oh, hi, Richard. How are you? Hi, Ash. Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, I'm just learning how to drive one of my trains at the moment, and then I've got to skip over and learn to fly a new plane that we're buying. Anyway, yeah, I'll give you 5 minutes. That ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. Now, what we need to do, Richard Branson is a level that we don't need. What we need are the C levels within his organization. He'll have different ones in organizations, right? They'll have one for his telecoms, one for his trains, one for his, and all the other companies that he have that is not brandished out there in the big bad world, because I'm sure he invests in many, many different companies, startups, and that type of thing. So what we want to do is we want to speak to somebody maybe 2 or 3 levels down from Richard Branson. And that could be CEO. However, at this point in the game, we don't need the CEO as in the top level, because all the CEO is going to do is, if you're speaking about travel or accommodation or human resources or staff accommodation, do you think the CEO is going to think, well, yeah, I'll have a 15-minute call with you. Yeah, let's take that. I don't have any time to do anything else, so I'll speak. No. So what he will do or she will do, they will then stagger you down the nice big tree, the organization map, whatever they call it. So you'll have at the top the CEO, and then your CFOs and the PAs are listed under there. So it'll be like your map of your organization, an organization chart, as they call it. And you can probably find most of these online if you research the company that you want to target. Now, I wouldn't look at targeting 10 or 12 companies at a time. I'd probably just do 2 or 3 of the same type of company. So it will be a transport company, it might be an engineering company, it might be a telecommunications company, because what you're going to have is you are going to have the research of the industry that you've done around travel and hospitality and service accommodation, where they stay, and if they've got they stay in hotels and that type of thing, and they'll have a contract to these hotels. So Where we might come down to is if we were to contact Richard would say, speak to my CEO. And then, or he would probably put you to the PA, the personal assistants, one of maybe two or three. That personal assistant would then stagger you down. They will look at their org chart and go, oh, okay, yes, type human resources or travel. That would go to human resources in most cases. It would then go to the head of, let's say, human resources, or the chief of CHR, chief of human resources, whatever it might be. Then from there, they may stagger you down to the manager, etc., etc., etc. But we want to target that head of, or that chief of, that very important top office of human resources, because that is the person, and the person above her or him, that we want to target. So there may be 2 or 3 different people that we target within the organization. However, the first one is the C level. So let's say, for instance, we're working in, I don't know, an area where there are engineering companies, and an engineering company normally has lots of people that travel. So you'd be looking for companies who are multinational and travel a lot and have people also coming into the UK. It doesn't matter if there's a head office in the UK or not, because people still travel here. You want to make sure that the office that they do have here does have adequate type of amounts of people. Obviously, and you probably want, I don't know, at least 60, 70 people within the organization within the UK, as a satellite office, if you like, for a larger organization, which might be an American software company or whatever it might be. Now, bear in mind that with the UK, if you're getting into companies like that, they may refer you to the US, and you'll get a recommendation, or you'll get a name of a person that you must write to. Then bingo. Then what they'll do is they'll then send it back and say, hey, speak to Ash about this accommodation. Sounds like he's got a pretty good deal for us, and the benefits are way above what it is staying in the Hilton Hotel, whatever it might be. So let's take an area. Let's pick an area. Now, what I'll do is, because of the people who've been asking me about this are from one particular area, I will do that area today. So if you ask, you get. So that area, let's say it will be down south somewhere. Trish will know where it is, James will know where it is, and so will Jack and Lindsay. So let's do that. Quick cuppa. Sorry about the slurp. A little bit of a slurp there. Right, so let's go to a letter. Shall we do a blank document? Yes, let's do a blank document. Oh, come on. Yeah, we'll do a blank document. That's what we'll do. And I'm going to write the letter for you. Now, this letter can be used anywhere else, but you're going to have to obviously work out, you know, what it is that you're going to tweak and that type of stuff. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to have to share my screen. That will help, Ash. Please let me know that you can see my screen. And you'll see the lovely Wealth and Success Academy logo at the top. I suggest that if you don't have a logo, you get a logo. You know, you're going to have to get a logo done, because this is your professional business. You're trying to give a perception that you are a, you know, a good company to deal with and that type of thing, and blah, blah, blah. Credible is the word. All right, can you see my screen, please? Yes, thank you. So what we're going to do is we are going to look at the criteria of the letter first. And the criteria, if you like, for the letter are sort of 3, 4, maybe 5 separate criteria. The first one is you need a short headline. So your headline We're not writing an email, we're sending a letter. So this is not a subject. Somebody just said an email subject. This is a 100% process that you must follow to get the response that you need. Email, in my opinion, is dead. For our marketing, we probably send an email once every 6 to 7 weeks. And you know that because you probably think, oh, an email from Ash, wow. Whereas other companies, they've got this email process that they send you, the training companies, bang, 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 bang. You're like, man, that's like 27 emails in 4 hours. Thank you, but no thank you. Delete, delete, delete. We'll send you one email with all the information in so that you can digest it, okay? Because I know what it's like. I hate emails too. The headline should be nice and short. So if we were thinking, there's that. So let's get back here. Let's put it over to the left. And the headline could be, let's think about this in benefits. Now I'm doing this live, so I haven't thought about it. I haven't written a letter. Maybe I should have written one before I came on, but I'm trying to think of the particular area. So, large local engineering company saves let's say if we're working on, let's say 200 days of travel a year, let's think about this. They may stay in our property for 200 days of the year for constant travel, because I'm trying to think, they won't be there weekends, they'll be there weekdays, they may be there weekends. So let's work on roughly 200 days out of the 365, right? So if we were to say to ourselves, right, and you can do this as you go along, if you want to type as you go along, thinking about your area. So we will have, and if I'm thinking about the area, 200 times, let's say 175, that's 35 grand. And we're going to have 2 people staying in the 2-bed property, for instance. If it's a 2-bed, doesn't matter if it's a 1-bed, because we could still have 3 people in there, one on a sofa bed or something like that. So we're looking to say, save, let's say 200 times £50 per night times 10 travelers. So saves £100,000 per year and improves large local engineering company saves £100,000 a year. You don't tell them, you don't give them everything now because you want a reason for them to talk. Ash, tell me more about how they saved it. Well, you know, they're traveling, 5 people traveling on average, saving £50 per night, 10 grand a year, that's £100,000. And it's not just about, you know, and improves, it's not just about the cost saving, it's about, and improves, I'm looking for the overall feel. Give me some help here, guys. The overall feel improves the welfare. Welfare of traveling staff, something like that, because it's a home from home. They feel like they're in a house. They can go shopping. They can eat their own food. They can have quiet time. And if they're working, they've got a, you know, they can have a desk in there that they sit down and it's quiet and it's relaxing and that type of thing. As opposed to a hotel, You know, might be laying on the bed all the time, watching TV halfway through. So it's not a genuine home from home, especially if these people are traveling for 2, 3, 4 weeks. And I'll tell you, I'll go on holiday for 7 days. If I ever stay in a hotel, as you can see, I'm tearing my hair out. So for me, if I was working, I wouldn't want to stay in a hotel. If you're traveling to conferences and that type of thing, especially if it's even if it's a Tony Robbins things for 5 or 6 days, a lot of companies send their staff to them for 4 or 5 days or whatever it is, and it might be 6, 7 days that they go because they're getting there before, they're staying after, they're doing meetings in between or after and before, shall I say. Then they're going to want somewhere comfortable, and they may travel with their spouse or you know, their wife, their husband, or even their kids. So they want a nice sort of, you know, home from home, if you like, where they can relax and then enjoy, you know, their stay. Good. So excellent, Arlene. That's fantastic. Productivity at work, traveling. Okay, good. Improves welfare and productivity. Love it. Oh, you mungo. Of staff. Too many eyes in there. Traveling staff away from the office, so to speak. It may be too many words in there. And we'd probably want to bold that and center it and make it a bit bigger. This is our big headline, and it should be 30 words or less. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we're way less, right? Good. So this is going to be what you capture their attention with. And they're a local engineering firm, remember, that we're targeting. Large local engineering company saves £100,000 per year. This doesn't include the improving on the welfare and productivity of the staff, because that could actually add, I don't know, another 10,000 or another 1 million because they win a deal or whatever it might be, away from the office, blah, blah, blah. So they're traveling and the productivity. And most people now have this option to work away from home or they work remotely, right? Good. So then from here, so you want to say large local engineering firm, or the biggest local engineering company saves, because then all the other engineering company, mate, if he's doing it, I want to do it, blah, blah, blah. It creates this creativity. Well, why can't I have it? Because if you quickly turned away and they said, right, the big one up there's doing it, can I have that too? And I said, no, actually, I don't think so. I don't think you're big enough. What? Excuse me? No, I'm having it. All of a sudden, that's a reverse psychology type of thing that starts working. That's a whole nother day of webinars. Good. Okay. Now, per year, good. So the next thing we need is like a tie-in paragraph. Now we're going to go back to 12, whatever it might be, and we're going to take it off bold. So the tie-in paragraph, and remember, we're always talking about benefits here. So the tie-in paragraph, we need to connect, if you like, that headline to the rest of the letter that we're writing here. And it will introduce, if you like, social proof to the claim that you're making. And to do that, you need to give proof of, so it could be, I'm thinking out loud here. So it could be like companies like, oops. Now, it could be a company that I work with or someone else works with within your area. So this is where it's nice to network. And if they're working with another company, you say, look, if I can get business coming in, and even if I send it to you, you pay me 10% of that, and all you've done is done the introduction. And you could almost think like this. You could almost, if you get a big company and you can't get enough properties, you can joint venture with other operators in the area. And I know that some of you work in the same areas of others. So why don't you set up a meeting and say, look, I've got this product, you've got that product, and hey, dude here's got this product. Now, they're coming to us and saying, look, you know, the company, that's a little bit out of the price range of what we provide for that staff. So for the lower end managers or the sales guys, we can do with the 125, 130 pound a night. Yeah, we can do that. And then the head of senior managers, yeah, we can handle that. But hey, I don't have that property, but Dingo here has it. So yeah, okay. So yeah, we can do that. And then, you know what? If I travel, I'm the CEO, I'd like a penthouse. And you know what? I only want one bed, or I want two beds, or whatever it might be. You know what? I don't have it, and I don't have it yet, but I'll find one. However, in the meantime, my little dude here, he has one. There you go. Bang. Direct booking, pay me 10 or 15%. But that means that they're getting that 10 or 15% means that you're getting your normal business where you're becoming full. And then you're also outsourcing. Yes, the word is outsourcing business to other channels. And the other channel is not a booking.com or a TripAdvisor. The other channel is somebody that you are joint venturing with, another part of your network. Your network is your net worth, as they say. Good idea. That's how it should work. Don't think of your competition as the evil, mad, you know, witch or wizard or whatever of the mad world who are going to do you in. Work with them. I'll tell you what, the area that I'm talking about, the people working down there, you're all very similar mentality and mindset. You could smash the shit out of this. You could almost have a website that you all contribute to and have your central website, and you get all the business and farm it out to each other. How exciting is that? Good. Anyway, let's carry on. So companies like, I don't know, ABC, XYZ, and 1, 2, 3 companies have all switched to, have all made the, have all, no, I'm just trying to think about words that we can use that are just not overdone out there. You know, like moving forwards and all that shit. Okay, so companies have all made the change to the service and cost savings, if you like, of this well established and fast growing solution. So the social proof, you told me there are companies who are doing this. Good. I like the import. Made the positive jump, made the transition. Okay, so you use the words that you want to in your letter. Okay. With perhaps, okay, companies have all made the transition to the service and cost savings of this well-established and fast-growing solution. Fast-growing solution. I don't want to sound cheesy like now it's your turn or anything like that, but use your words. And then from there, what we want to do is we want to do some bullet points of benefits. So increasing, so benefit here, bullet points. And it's all about benefits, right? And we won't number them. We'll bullet point them. So bullet point, let's get back over there. So bullet point are benefits, and it could be cutting expenses, because this is what it's about, right? It's the expenses that they then claim back for their travel. So cutting expenses by reducing both hotel and meal costs, something like that. You could increase top line revenue by providing a secure and homely, if you like, surroundings. I'm thinking out loud, right? So this is what you need to do. Because business always wants to hear about security as well and quiet, so homely surroundings. So you're getting it without telling you what that is. Increase employee effectiveness, if you like. If there's such a word. Good. Travel compliance. So it could be, they're now, because a lot of people, when they book a room, they say, oh, I had to book that room because they were full or whatever it might be. So they say, well, why didn't you do the one further down? I was too far away. And then what they do is they stay in a hotel that's £150, where their compliance, within compliance, is £125, £130. And then they're all of a sudden eating, higher price food and restaurants and that type of stuff. So all of that sort of thing. Somebody just said employee mental health and well-being potentially. Employee well-being, absolutely. Mental health, yes, I agree, but it might be a bit. That's something that we can do later. I don't want to start talking about mental health, because you may get something come back and work. Okay, explain how that works. You might get a little bit too deep and a little bit too granular there. But yes, I understand, because it's reducing perhaps employee well-being. So improve employee well-being, and perhaps, by reducing stress levels. I don't know. You've got to think outside the line, outside the box, on what you think is going to work. Yeah, privacy and space, absolutely. So again, this is, you can see that we're all going in, and everybody's agreeing here that it's about the welfare and the guest experience, which is freaking good. You guys have learned so much. So increased space and privacy. Good. Okay, so we won't put too many more now. We don't want to put too many, but yeah. So if I'm reading out a lesson, we'll do a little summary at the end, and then from here, we want to do like an ending paragraph. So all of this must be on one page. It must be on one page. Now, what we could do here is we want to do more about companies like here. So ABC, as you are aware, is the largest engineering company in the, Southwest. and taking advantage of all the benefits listed below of all the benefits listed below. ABC, as you know, the largest engineering company in Southwest, employing over 5,000 staff globally. Who are now taking advantage of all the benefits listed below. Something like that, right? Good. Needed just a bit more there. And then here, what we want to do is for perhaps XYZ, for, I don't know, AAA, for your company. No. We would like perhaps like for your company to also take advantage of the benefits listed. This is very hard doing this live, I can tell you. The benefits listed above, we won't say above because we've done it below. We'd like your company, AAA, to take advantage of the above benefits so that you too can experience the savings and increased staff productivity and overall wealth. What am I doing? Welfare, leading to increased revenue, which will, we don't want to say negative words like not, which will increase, which will add to your savings mentioned. So again, it's not a saving, however. Well, it kind of is, but it's you're saving money on the cost, but then you're increasing because of the welfare and the overall guest experience, if you like. And we can mention that there. So, but we won't right now. So what we're doing a bit of a call to action here. So we would like your company, AAA, to also take advantage of the benefits listed so that you can experience the savings and increase staff productivity and overall welfare, leading to increased revenue, which will add to your savings mentioned. Then what we want to do, you will be able you will need just 10 minutes Now, remember, these guys are super busy. The 10 minutes, you will need just 10 minutes. You don't want to say, do you want to schedule a call, blah, blah, blah. It's got to almost sound conversational, but we also need to get across that we're a credible company and we sound professional as well. We don't want to, hey, all right, how's it going? Conversational in the sense of business conversational, not, all right, how you going? Okay, you will need just 10 minutes. And you don't want to, you've got to be using you, and you've got to be using your. It's not, I only need 10 minutes. We only need 10 minutes. You've got to say it in such a way, and always use you and your as much as you can. That should be about 80% of what you put in there. You will need just 10 minutes for an overview of how you can take perhaps the first steps to achieving what ABC, XYZ, 1, 2, 3, and now your company, perhaps ABC, no, they are, who are we? We're one, they're 1, 2, 3. And your company, yeah. So you need just 10 minutes for an overview on how you can take the first steps to achieving what ABC and now your company. So you will need just 10 minutes for an overview on how you can take the first steps to achieving what ABC and now your company with me on Tuesday, and do a week in advance. On Tuesday, let's do it properly. On Tuesday, July 2nd at 9:45 a.m. Now, I would probably put it at, even if you can do this, at 8:15 a.m. because you're getting them sitting at the desk before they have to go out to their big bloody meetings that they get called to. They'll have weekly meetings, they'll have strategy meetings, they'll have R&D meetings they have to attend, or whatever it might be. Or, they might have to attend where they're buying something, a strategy meeting, whatever it might be. All these sort of meetings that they have to do, right? So you will need just 10 minutes. Okay, so I will contact you need to find out who this is. I will contact you on 01234 01234 by phone, or I will call you on and look forward to our meeting. Good. So all of this must stay on the one page. So you can top and tail some of this information here again. And then under here, you're going to put yours sincerely, because you don't know them, Ashley Banfield, and sign it. That's good. We've got one page there. The logo can be a little bit bigger. That can drop down a bit. Just make it nice and centered. So you could add a little bit more in here too, right? But we're doing this live, so you're going to have to sit down and think about it. So, okay. So what you're going to have is one thing that we've forgotten here is Dear Vito. Dear Vito. You're going to need to know the person's name. And I would probably call them via their surname, Mr. or Mrs. or Miss, whatever it might be. You want to probably pull that down a bit. So you always do it under the headline because, yeah, that's good. That's not bad. So you've got to imagine you got this letter and you've got a letter and you received this letter in the mail and you're reading it. And you look, large local engineering company saves £100,000 per year and improves welfare and productivity of traveling staff away from the office. Would you be interested? Well, yeah, because I'm saving 100 grand and I'm improving the welfare and the productivity. And this is only based on 5 people traveling. If it were 10 people, it'd be 200 grand. If it was 100 people, it'd be $1 million, and so forth and so on. Dear Vito, and I call it Vito because Vito stands for Very Important Top Office. These letters have been used in the commercial and the corporate world for many, many years, and they are still used today, and they are still regarded as the number one most effective way to get the attention of a decision maker. Now, a decision maker is paid to make decisions. It's what they do. They will then have people under them who will be people who make recommendations. So the people who make recommendations will then they would have been recommended by the people. So this is what we're doing here. So we're putting the recommendation in, if you like, without meeting the lower people because it's just too long, because they can block you from going to the top level. So we're putting in the recommendations via the ABC, the XYZ, as in other companies, but we're not saying speak to these companies. We're just telling you who they are. And that's what they're doing. Could be someone I'm working with, someone else that someone else in the area is working with. Could be a local language school or whatever it is, or anything like that. Doesn't have to be necessarily a big giant corporate. So large local engineering company or firm, whatever you want to do, saves £100,000 per year and improves welfare and productivity of staff away from the office. So I would even say, could leave traveling in there. We'll leave it for now. So, dear Vito, dear Mr. Smith, companies like ABC, XYZ, and 123 companies, all engineering firms, have all made the transition to the service and cost savings of this well-established and fast-growing solution, global solution, because it is. And if you've got global travelers, you want to put that in. As ABC company, as you're aware, is the largest engineering company in the Southwest, employing over 5,000 staff globally who are now taking advantage of all the benefits listed below. Bang, cutting expenses by reducing both hotel and meal costs. Increase top line revenue by providing a secure and homely surrounding. Providing secure and homely surroundings. Increase employee effectiveness, travel compliance, improve employee well-being by reducing stress levels, increase space and privacy. And there's loads more that you can put in there, but they must be benefits. All of those are your benefits. A feature tells, a benefit sells. The moment you stop talking benefits to a Vito or a CEO level person, you are doomed. Because if you say, yeah, I've got a nice service accommodation penthouse, it's great, beautiful views, you should stay there. Why? Whenever somebody says why, you need to make sure that you provide benefits. If they ask why, you are not providing benefits. We would like for your company, AAA, and mention their company because they are proud of their company. This is why Emirates Stadium is called Emirates Stadium. It is not called the people from Abu Dhabi or the Dubai company airline. They want their name on there, and plus it's marketing and that type of thing. But it's a sense of ownership. This is all sort of psychological, getting into their heads without getting into their heads. Tell you blah, 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 blah. We would like for your company, and you'll see up here companies like blah, blah, blah. As you are aware, blah, 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 we would like for your company, AAA, to also take advantage of the benefits so that you too can experience the savings and increased productivity and overall welfare, commas in there and that type of stuff, leading to increased revenue, which will add to your savings mentioned. You will need just 10 minutes for an overview of how you can take the first steps to achieving what ABC, XYZ, 1, 2, 3, and now your company with me on Tuesday, the 2nd of July at 8:15 a.m. I will call you on blah, 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 and look forward to our meeting. Yours sincerely. Bang! Yes, Vito, V-I-T-O, V-I-T-O. That is how you write a letter quickly, live. Now, to get the right letter, you are going to have to make sure that everything that you say in there is measurable and that they have, there's loads of advantages of using you and benefits. So this is what we need to get across. Good. So we've written that. Now, the next step. What are you going to do with the letter? Email it? No. Print it off? Yes. Now, you are going to need to print it on good quality paper, not this stuff. You don't want to put it on plain paper. You do not have to write this letter with handwriting. This letter can be typed and printed. However, you must sign it with your own signature. Do not do a printed signature. Make sure it's signed in blue pen as well, not black or whatever. Must be, significantly showing that you've taken the time to write that letter. The paper should be the nice thicker paper, and it should be like an off-white, not yellow, but an off-whitey color. Almost yellow, but not bright yellow. I'm not sure if I have any here. I did have, but I don't know where they are. Anyway, and it should be, the envelope should be a quality, nice textured envelope, but not over the top. And again, like off-white. You must put a stamp on it, a stamp, a physical stamp, as in a stamp. And you must write on the front neatly. Do not put on, let me just put you back on here. All right. Do not use these bloody sticky labels. And do not write on these sticky labels. Use a stamp and write on the front, ABC company. And above it, attention, Joe Blogs. Sometimes we've even put Joe on there, but you want to make sure it gets to them. In the small organization, you could put Dear Joe, proprietor, CEO, whatever, MD. Then you want to write their address. You want to get the physical address, not any PO box. You want to get their physical address. Now, why? Why are we doing this? Now, let me tell you why. It's because I'll give you an exact example here, actually, a real example of what my mail tray looks like. I don't know when I got these letters, but I know that they're from the bank. One letter, unopened. Another letter, unopened. Another letter, unopened. Another one, unopened. Another one, unopened. Why are they unopened? Because I know that they're just statements or crap that I really don't need to read. Now, with that said, the reason why is, and please, there are people out there recommending you put them in red envelopes. Don't put them in red envelopes. Red envelopes are for Christmas and Valentine's Day. That's it. I know, because I know CEOs and some heads of companies who get these red letters. They're handwritten, they're stamped, and they go, woohoo! Chuck it in the bin. Or they just say to their PA, see all the red letters? Any of these letters that come in and red letters, you open up. If it's a load of garbage, chuck it in the bin. Anything other than that, or red letters, and addressed to me personally, any handwritten letters, I open. That's the way it is. In the majority, I'm talking 95 times out of 100 cases. Good? So that is how you get your letter in front of the C-level person or the et cetera person that you're trying to target. If you put it in a red letter, if you put it in a bloody, you go and use a big mailing agency, they're just going to frank it. So it looks impersonal. Try it, give it a go. It will fail. Use the system that we're telling you here, and you will get people from companies taking your phone call. Now, do you put your details on there? No, you don't. Why? Simple. You're going to introduce your company and tell them all about what it is that you do. If your benefits and your notes that you've put in there, in that letter, if you've written it well enough and strong enough, and it's quick to read within 2 minutes, they will make a slot for your call. That's what they will do. Don't put it on any letterheads or anything like that. You are going to be making that phone call. The worst thing that will happen is the PA will take the call. She will take the call anyway. Now, if the PA takes the call and says, hi, it's Ashley Banfield. I'm calling for Paul Thomas. I'd scheduled a meeting for 8:15 this morning. Yes, that's correct, Mr. Banfield. Mr. Thomas is expecting your call. I'll put you through right now. Bang! Good morning, Mr. Thomas. Ashley Banfield. How are you this morning? Thank you for all the bullshit. Hi, Mr. Thomas. Thank you so much for taking my call. I'm so surprised that you took my call. Wow. Oh, wow. Fucking hell. Wow. No. You are going on to that phone call with one mission. And that mission is to get a face-to-face meeting with either him, her, or the person that they then recommend you to. Because this is where it gets freaking exciting. You haven't had little Johnny down here say, please, sir, please, Mr. CEO, will you meet Ash? Because he's got something really good to tell you. Don't have time. Instead, Mr. CEO or Mr. CEO, little Johnny, I need you to set up a meeting with Ashley Banfield, please. You should probably expect an hour. Is that what you need, Mr. Banfield? Yeah, I think an hour, 45 minutes to an hour would be acceptable. That's fine. Let me know how it goes. I will. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Bang, meeting. Right, little Johnny, what have you got in your diary when we can meet? You put yourself together a nice presentation of about half a dozen slides if on PowerPoint. That's it. Don't get it put up on a big screen where you're walking around, like we do in presentations. Sit there side by side. Make it personal in a way, but it's always strictly business. Come here. Let me show you. As opposed to, all right, let me show you this. Come here. Let me show you something. Okay. So as a just to let you know, just to reiterate what I spoke to you about with Mr. Thomas, I've actually printed off a copy of the letter and just to go through the benefits of what we're doing. Okay, fantastic. Sounds great. That's what you start to do. Then you start to present the benefits, not the features, the benefits. There will be, once the benefits are hooked, you tell them the features of the property. So we've got a penthouse, awesome views. Wow. This is when you start getting excited. This is when the passion comes out, when you're talking about your features. Yeah, and we've got a lift up there, and it's got access for mobility access and that type of thing. It's close to the center. I know that one of your biggest clients there is I don't know, Virgin Media. You do the engineering or whatever you do. Don't make stuff up. Make sure it's true. So I'm not sure how many times you visit them, but you're right there on their doorstep. As you can see next door from the photos that I'm showing you and some of the listings, we are close to 5 of the top restaurants in Bath, so that you can use that for your entertaining. However, on the other side of the building, we've also got your regulars like your Wagamamas, your Sainsbury's outlet, a Waitrose outlet, and that type of thing, so that people can cook from home and all that sort of stuff. It's fantastic. Really is a home from home. And look at the interior design we've done. We spent a lot of money putting the right property together. Boom, 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 boom. Then, boom, you hit the big alfresco shot, Mr. Usain Bolt. When they're nodding like this, and you only ask questions that the answer is going to be yes to, because this gets them into a yes state. Then you say, Johnny, I've told you all about what we can do and the benefits, and we showed you the other companies out there that obviously are benefiting from our solution. However, there's nothing quite like experiencing what I'm telling you. And for that, what I'd like to do is offer you, and are you married, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it might be, partner? Sure, yeah. Okay, I'd like to offer you a weekend free of charge to try this out for yourself. And then you're quiet. Sounds good. Do you think I could stay in the penthouse? Absolutely. Of course you could. I'll tell you what. Why don't we book you in now? Dun, 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 dun. Good. Done. You're in. And then that is what they call the puppy dog close. They love it. You've got to be confident in your product. They love it. They can't stop talking about it. You then write a small letter to Mr. Thomas. You then copy in little Johnny. Mr. Thomas, you'll be glad to know that part of what we're doing is not just sort of telling you and doing this and doing that. We want you to experience it. So little Johnny's going to be staying in the property on the weekend of the 10th of July, whatever it is, whatever date. In addition to that, Mr. Thomas, obviously, I want to thank you for the introduction, and I'd also like to offer you perhaps a weekend so that you can experience it as well. In whichever one you choose, perhaps you'd like to stay in the penthouse as well the week after. Remain silent. And I can guarantee you you've got the right property, you've shown them and you've done this right, and you've shown passion, and you've given benefits, they're going to go, absolutely. Who doesn't like a free weekend away? Who doesn't like it? Good. Fantastic. Don't put your details on there. Don't put your website on there. Don't put your email. Don't put your phone number on there. You're making the phone call. You don't want them to contact you. Put your logo on and they can see it. Do that, but they're not going to be sure who you are, what you do. The whole reason for the call is to create that. The whole reason of the letter is to create that. It's almost like that need for more information. Because if they don't need more information, they're not going to take your call. Good. And yes, Mr. Thomas, that is, boom, the money shot. As soon as they experience it, and the reason I call it a puppy dog close is because somebody walks in. My son's pencil case here. You walk into a pet shop. I don't think they really do pet shops now, do they? And you're looking at dogs with your kids, or you're looking at whatever with your wife or your husband. You walk in. If I owned a pet shop, I'd go, isn't he a nice doggy? Yes. And before they even said anything, you get that little doggy, you pick it up, you put it in their arms. He's 16 weeks old. And you're like this. And then that little dog looks at you with those eyes. And you're like, and then the wife goes, oh, he's so cute, we've got to have him. Or the husband goes, we've got to have him. I love him. Sure, you can take him home today if that's what you want to do. But I need to know a little bit about your home. What sort of home are you living at the moment? Have you got space for this? Because this dog is actually going to grow quite big. I just want to make sure that you are going to be the right parents for this dog. See a little takeaway? So you give it, not yet. Okay, I'll take it. And then they start to sell you on their house and how they're going to look after it. Because then later you do the takeaway when they're staying in the property. Keep it, no smoking, this, that sort of thing, blah, blah, blah. Good. Your rules, your terms, and all that gets negotiated later. But I can tell you this. When you're negotiating your terms and your conditions and your contracts and the price and that type of thing, it's going to be piece of cake because you've had the top level guy stay in your property, and then little Johnny, the influencer, or the person making, so you get the recommendations, you get the influencer, and then you get the person who makes the decisions. So the person making the decision is now influencing the influencer. The influencer is now making the recommendations to the person who actually makes the decision, thanks to Mr. Thomas up the top has said, little Johnny, go and make the decision, mate. What's it going to be like? Oh, it was great. You've got to stay there. Good, I'm staying there next weekend. Bang, 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 bang. It's what we call a test drive. And you can do it because you have a tangible product. You have something that you can show, people can experience. You're not selling advertising space. Oh, I can't tell you what's going to feel like, but I can give you all the boring stats. Good?